But you know, the Italians have this wonderful expression, say non è vero e ben trovato. If it isn't true, it makes a good story. It's a good find. And you know, you may have stumbled on something that could have been working in my subconscious, or I will simply say, you know, forget it, Bill.
It's just a nice little gesture.
It's just I don't know what it is, but I was looking for something which could allow the oboe to come in. And of course, the oboe comes in a very, very strange way, doesn't it? It
Yes.
comes in with a real shriek of a kind, of sort of a swirling gesture, which is totally unrelated to what we found before. And then, you know, it goes from that to a section, a couple of sections, several strophes in a sense, of high tension, almost hysterical energy, which is quite passionate, I think. And in many ways quite traditional. I had to fight my way through an acceptance of what was going on there.
Traditional in a romantic sense?
In a romantic sense, the way the thrust of the even scale passages, which I don't usually write, and a kind of imitation. One goes and using a lot of sort of semi-accompaniment ostinato figures, so they're not real ostinatos, but a lot of busyness, like a classical tutti. But the thing that surprises me about the oboe quartet, which I will confess is one of the handful of really favorite pieces of my own. You know, I'm not somebody who goes around in a, how shall I say this, in an obsession with my own virtue and the value of my own music. I have no question about the merit of things, but I don't go around saying, oh, you know, there was a famous story about somebody like Rubinstein going to the White House and saying, with his broken English, "How do you do? I am delightful."
I've heard that story.
Yeah, right. So I certainly don't feel that way, but there are a couple of pieces, there's some pieces of mine which I really think are very alluring, and the oboe quartet in some ways above all.
I agree.
And the reason is that with all the times I've heard the piece, and having written the piece and so on and so forth, I often don't remember what's around the corner.
Well, it's a big, big piece.
Well, it's not that big. But I mean, think of what Jimmy Levine has to think about if he goes into a 5-hour opera. There is something about that piece that is so elusive of where the sections end and what the idea is for the follow-up. And very often it's material of extreme contrast, and it takes you a moment to say, oh, yeah. And that's what surprises me over and over again in that piece.
Mm-hmm.
I am so satisfied with first the surprise, and then the bewilderment, and then this confirmation, the affirmation of the next idea. And that is something that, can you manufacture that? You cannot. You cannot plan that. There's no way that can be synthesized.